this up? Mm-hmm. So you're good. Do I press this? Okay. Hi everybody out there in cyberspace. My name is Kay Hartwig and I'm from the Education Faculty of Griffith University. And this webinar is a fantastic way to reach out to you people to give you the opportunity to ask me some specific questions. So I think the first thing I might do is tell you a little bit about the education programs that we have available, and then you can start those questions rolling in and I will answer them for you. So first of all, the sun is shining in Brisbane at the moment and it's 35 degrees, a little bit warmer than what I'm experiencing over here in Canada. I'm in the KOM office at the moment, which is situated in Hamilton, and we'll talk a little bit more about them later. They are our agents here in Canada and they would be very happy to help you with your application form. Now, the education faculty at Griffith University is spread across two of our campuses, the Brisbane campus, which is called Mount Gravatt, and then the Gold Coast campus, which is called the Gold Coast. We have different programs offered at different campuses. Now, the first program that I'll talk about is the Bachelor of Arts in Education. This is for students who do not have a bachelor's degree. So you can come with your college diploma and we will give you 2 years credit for a 2-year diploma from a college, and you will come into the Bachelor of Arts in Education, and in 1 year you can get that 3-year bachelor's degree. Of course, once you have that bachelor's degree, then you can apply for Teachers College or you can get access into Teachers College. So there are many students out there, I'm sure, who are also from universities. Oh, just excuse me. So those of you who have a university degree can apply to do the Teachers College directly in Australia. So you do not have to do the Bachelor of Arts first of all. That's only for those who need to get a bachelor's degree. Now, we have two types of programs at the moment for Teachers College. The first one is called a Graduate Diploma in Education. And that's available if you want to be a primary junior teacher or if you want to be an intermediate secondary teacher. Both of those are available. We call it Graduate Diploma of Education Primary and Graduate Diploma of Education Secondary. That program is offered at the Brisbane campus, which is called Mount Gravatt, and it's a 1-year program. The other program we have is called the Master of Teaching program, and just simply because of its name, Masters, it's a 2-year program, but we do condense that down to 1.5 years. So you can fast track that and finish the program in 1.5 years. The program is only offered at our Gold Coast campus. And because it is a master's level program, you do need a higher GPA to get into that program. Both programs, the Graduate Diploma and the Master of Teaching programs, they are fully recognised back here with the Ontario College of Teachers. And if you're wanting to teach in other provinces, the Master of Teaching program, because it's the longer program, will get you registration in most of the other colleges of teachers here in Canada. If you do the 1-year program, mostly you will get provisional registration and then you will have to do some extra credits because, as probably many of you know, places like Nova Scotia and British Columbia require a 2-year Teachers College program. Okay, what else do I need to tell you? The pathway, the BA into a grad dip, that's a set pathway and it's only offered at our Mount Gravatt campus, and that will take you 2 years. And teaching abroad, someone's just asked about teaching abroad. Yes, Griffith University is an internationally recognised university. It's within the top 4% of universities worldwide, and our qualifications are recognised internationally. You will have no trouble teaching throughout the world. The other thing that I should mention, in both of our Teachers College programs, Grad Dip and Master of Teaching, you are able to do your final placement in Australia, or if you would like, back here in Canada, or in fact, in other parts of the world as well.
Yeah.
Now, another question, is the only advantage to master being able to teach out of Ontario? Yes, it depends on where you want to go initially to teach. If you want to go, as I said, to places like British Columbia and Nova Scotia, they require the 2-year Teachers College program. But here in Ontario, at the moment, it's still recognised as a 1-year program is all you need. Going back to talking about the doing your final placement. In the grad dips, those final placements are 6 weeks in length. So you can certainly come back here to Canada to do that. And the Master of Teaching program, it is an internship, which is for 9 to 10 weeks. And once again, you can come back here to do that final placement. Or you can go to other places in the world. We have had many students go to New Zealand or to international schools in places such as Korea, Taiwan, Singapore, Fiji. Of course, the only thing we have to watch out for is the language that you're teaching in an English-speaking school. General requirements for entry into the Master of Teaching program, you would need a minimum of a 5 GPA to get into that program. And for primary, you would certainly need English and maths. Okay, so after you finish the Bachelor of Arts in Education, at Griffith, the pathway that is recognised is into the teaching, that's right, into the graduate diploma, which qualifies you to be a teacher. However, if you wanted to look at a totally different type of program, you would have to apply and your qualifications would be assessed. But with the graduate diploma, we understand exactly what you've done in the Bachelor of Arts, and we're guaranteeing you a place in the graduate diploma, and that pathway is recognised by the Queensland College of Teachers. But certainly you're able to look at other pathways in other directions of study, but you have to know that you would need to apply for those. And as I don't come from those other faculties, there are no guarantees, and you would be competing with other students. The BA grad dip is a pathway that we are guaranteeing. Would I be able to stay and teach in Australia permanently? Permanently is an interesting word. We'll come back to that one, but certainly you're able to stay in and teach in Australia. At the moment, you can go on to a work visa, and that would enable you to stay on and teach for a while. Coming up in 2013, the Australian government is bringing in some new rules where if you have studied in Australia for a period of time, they're going to automatically grant you a graduate visa, which enables you to work in Australia, possibly for the equivalent time that you've been studying. That's a brand new thing, and we don't have all the details on that. That's coming in 2013. Now, the young person who put in teach permanently, to be able to stay permanently in Australia, I think as far as I know, there are a couple of pathways. You would need to apply for permanent residency to be able to stay permanently. And I think, I don't suppose I'm allowed to tell you this, but I think an easy way is to marry an Australian, and then you get permanent residency pretty quickly. Maybe the Australian government doesn't want me to tell you that one. Okay, the spouse of the student be able to get an Australian work visa just for that period. Yes, we've had many couples come out to Griffith University, and the person who's the spouse who is not studying is certainly able to work for that period of time. Maybe I'll tell you a little bit about KOM. KOM are, as I mentioned before, the agents for Griffith University. They have an office in Hamilton, and it's through them that this webinar has been set up today. So you have their contact details. They will help you with your application. They will send that application down to us for assessment. They will help you every step of the way with the application, getting your student visas, giving you information about accommodation. They also have a connection with a travel agent who is able to talk to you about group airfares and those sorts of things. They offer a going down to pre-departure day where you can get to meet both KOM but also other students who might be going to go down there. KOM in their offices are also very happy for you to come in and chat to them. Parents are most welcome to be part of that whole process. So I would recommend them to you. There is a registration fee with KOM of $70. If you go through KOM, Griffith University will waive the Griffith application fee of $50. So for the price of $20, you will get this magnificent service that will help you from step one of applying to getting you on the plane to come down to Griffith University. And once, of course, you're down there, we will pick you up at the airport and assist you to settle into Australia. Now, what's our next question? Okay, housing seems to be a really big question. At both the Brisbane campus and the Gold Coast campus, there is on-campus residences that, of course, you are able to go into. Also in Brisbane, there are some student villas that are very, very close to the university. And sometimes we find the Canadian students like to go into those because they're not exactly on the campus, but within a very, very short distance. And many of them have swimming pools and all sorts of wonderful facilities. There is also off-campus facilities available. Griffith has an accommodation officer who would help you with the process of finding your own apartment or unit. We have people who would also help you look at the lease. You obviously have to sign a lease to go into those off-campus situations. So the Griffith accommodation officers would help you with looking at that lease. Yes, as I mentioned, we have residences on campus at both Mount Gravatt and the Gold Coast. Does teaching experience count for admissions? No, you do not need. These are pre-service teaching programs, and so it doesn't matter what your teaching experience may have been, that does not impact. It's totally assessed on your GPA. You do not need any volunteer work to get into either of our teaching programs. It's purely judged on your GPA. If someone is borderline with their qualifications and their GPA, then we would start looking at what else you may have done. So for those people who have borderline qualifications or marks, please include an extra letter that tells us something about you, where you may have taken leadership, or you may have done some volunteer work in a school, or in a sports coaching situation, or working with children in another way. So those sorts of things can help you, help us accept you if your marks are quite low. If you have done a 3-year diploma program and I do the BA of Arts degree, does it make an honours degree then? No, because you're only coming in with a diploma program and we're giving you 2 years credit. So if you do the 1 year with Griffith, it is not an honours degree. It's recognised as a 3-year bachelor's degree. Is it possible to be admitted to the Bachelor of Education program and switch into the Masters later? If you want to switch into the Masters program, you would have to apply when you think that you would like to do that, because the pathway of the Bachelor of Arts and the Graduate Diploma is a recognised pathway, and it's recognised by both the Queensland College of Teachers and the Ontario College of Teachers, and the GPA and the pathway have all been approved. If you would like to switch into the Masters of Teaching program, then that would need to be a separate application once you have your marks from the bachelor's degree, and you would have to be assessed separately for that. Is there a student council? There certainly is a student council. We have also another group called Campus Life, where they organise sporting events and those sorts of things. A little bit about the teaching placements, certainly. Now, in either teaching program, your first placement will be done very close to either campus. If you're doing the master's program, Gold Coast. If you're doing the graduate diploma, Brisbane. We also have these agreements with the colleges of teachers that in that first placement, we will keep you very close to campus so that we can assist you in any way. Or if in some circumstances a small problem did arise, we would certainly help you, and we are available to assist you. We will come out to the college and visit. The second placement is where you can go to another school that's relatively close to campus, or you can in fact go to other parts of the world, as I'd mentioned, and that includes coming back here. Reading Web, the master's program is quite intense for the 2 in-class semesters. Yes, you would do it because we are fast tracking the Master of Teaching program. You will do a summer school, and then you will do an overload of courses in both of the semesters. So you would do 5 courses instead of the regular 4. So yes, it is intense, and that's so that we can fast track you. Yes, there are very, very specific events for international students. So first of all, the International Office run a week-long orientation program that's called the International Orientation. So you get to meet international students from all around the world. At Griffith, we have some 45 countries represented with students. So it would be wonderful for you to meet all of those students. There are many activities planned for that week. The next week becomes the domestic orientation program, of which you are also a part. So you become a student. So we have our international and our domestic students. Every student doing a particular program, and especially in education, we have an orientation program that goes that week. And you get to then meet all of the people you will be studying alongside. And there are various events, free lunches, sausage sizzles, morning teas, music, all those sorts of things that will happen in that week where you will mix with all of the students who are doing the program that you will be doing. Yes, we're certainly looking in the MTeach program. We are on a 7-point scale, and so we would be looking at you maintaining that 5 GPA. Again, because it's a Master of Teaching program, it's expected that you would be at that level. Okay, the Master of Teaching program is 1.5 years, or your 18 months in total. So that includes the final placement. So when I give the year or the 18 months, that includes absolutely everything from first day to completion. Okay, so how are we going out there? Are there any other questions that I can answer for you? The bachelor's degree, no, that does not include a placement. That's an on-campus program, a bachelor's degree, just like any other bachelor's degree that you could do back here, and it does not require, it doesn't include a placement. The idea in that bachelor's program is to improve your skills so that you have high-level English, maths, and science so that you can go into a teaching program. Yes, when I mention a 5 GPA, that's approximately the 75 to 80%. And we're on a 7-point scale, whereas I think back here in Canada you're on different scales. So it's 5 GPA on a 7-point scale, which is around the 75 to 80%. Okay, so are there other master's programs? There are certainly other programs, and we've just had a wonderful reply from KOM. Oh, okay, so that's about the Student Association, which is a very active student association. Because we get so many Canadian students, there is a Canadian Student Association. There are other master's programs, just going back to the student who asked about master's programs offered in other areas. Yes, there are, but as I mentioned before, the BA in Education, Bachelor of Arts in Education, is a guaranteed pathway into teaching or the graduate diploma program. If you want to apply for a master's program in anything else, you would have to make a totally separate application, and it would have to be assessed by the people in environment, engineering or science or whatever that pathway that you would like to do. For those people coming from general arts and sciences and early childhood, those programs lend themselves to go into teaching, whereas you may not be given so much credit if you wanted to go into something totally different. When do current applicants learn of their fate? Well, I would hope that you learn of your fate within 2 to 3 weeks of your application. If anybody is out there and they have an application in and you've had it in for some time, I'm here in the KOM office, so I will talk to them about any applications that are outstanding to make sure that you know where you stand. Yes, if you would like to go into secondary teaching, you must have 2 teachables, and that's teachables that are taught in schools. For example, maths, science, English, music, languages, those sorts of things, history, geography, computing, business. Those are the things that you will need. My degree is in linguistics, and I do not have any courses specifically in English and Maths. Okay, I would need to have a look at that transcript, but yes, if you've done lots of linguistics, that's about teaching languages and people understanding. The other thing would be if you've done English and Maths to secondary level, that would be acceptable as well. Okay, somebody's wanting the Facebook link. I'm thinking they might want the Facebook link for KOM. Okay, so somebody's kindly put that up for us. That's great. It's on your screen now. Since the BA is only 3 years, an honours degree more appealing to a school board. I'm not sure about more appealing. Certainly in Ontario, your level of pay is assessed according to your qualifications. So those people who have a 3 years plus a 4th year honours plus a Masters of Teaching, they are more likely to go on to a higher pay scale. What about the BA documents in other language than English? So if you have done a degree not in English, you will probably have to do an English language test like IELTS, which is an English language assessment, if that's what you're meaning. I'm not positive about that, if that's what you mean. If you have documents that are written in languages other than English, you would need to get them translated for us as well. How many courses qualify as a teachable? Yes, if you go on the Griffith website and go into those programs, but we're generally looking about 5 and 2 or 3. I'm looking for an undergraduate in art theology because I would like to teach college level as an art history. So if you're looking for a totally different program, undergraduate in art, we have certainly programs, bachelor's degree in fine arts and in arts. I can't talk about those off the top of my head. If you would like to tune in at 4:30, we have a generic presentation being run, and there will be many other programs. Also, you might like to phone KOM and they would be able to assist you with programs other than education. Okay, thank you for making me realise I'd forgotten to talk about financial assistance. Yes. Now, a year's study in education is approximately 17,000 Australian dollars. So if you're doing the longer program, it would be probably, again, about 24,000 Australian dollars. So that covers your tuition fee. Then, of course, you have to live in Australia. We generally recommend between 16 to 18,000 Australian dollars is what you will need to live for the year to cover all of your costs, from any textbooks that you might need, stationery that you might need, rent, food, and a little bit of entertainment. So that's approximately. Obviously, it will depend on the type of lifestyle that you would want to live and how much holidaying and going out that you would want to live. But somewhere between 16,000 and 18,000 a year, you could certainly live very comfortably. Griffith University offers a couple of types of scholarships for education. The first one, for students who are coming into the bachelor's degree, the Bachelor of Arts in Education, there are $23,000 Canadian college scholarships that are available. If you'd like to apply for any of those, please talk to our agents, KOM, and they'd be happy to help you with getting the application form. Then for anybody, that's those people who have graduated from the BA or those people who have graduated from a bachelor's degree here in Canada, the education faculty offer $5,000 scholarships for anybody who's coming into the education programs. Now, somebody's asking about those expenses again. The 16 to 18,000 is all of your living and extra bits and pieces. Tuition is separate to that. The 20 scholarships of 3,000 are just for our Canadian college students, and then there are scholarships of $5,000 for anybody going into education. Yes, the Master of Teaching is 24,000 and the BA is 17,000. Yes, you are correct. So each year your education program is approximately 17,000 Australian dollars. Are there any other questions that I can help you with? KOM, my friends from KOM, are there anything that you think that I should add that maybe I've forgotten to add? OSAP. Oh, OSAP, thank you very much. Those of you who are able to get OSAP, you can take that with you to Australia, and that's approximately $10,000 a year. On the OSAP, I believe when you're studying here in Canada, there are different assessment criteria. I believe when you're studying internationally, the assessment is done purely on your own income, not on your parents', and most students who study internationally are able to get the $10,000 OSAP. Is KOM open on the weekends? I don't think so. KOM, you might like to type up on the screen your opening hours for that student. The final dissertation for the MTeach. Yes, it's a research project that you will do when you are doing the placement. It's to do with school and its action research methodology. So you will be assisted through that, and you will have someone assisting you. And so you will do a little research project in the classroom or in the school in which you are doing that final placement. The coursework in the Master of Teaching program, yes, you will do coursework up until your final semester. The names of every one of those courses are available on our on the Griffith website. If you wanted to check out what they were called, simply go to the Griffith website and click on Education and bring up the Master of Teaching program, or in fact the Graduate Diploma or the BA program, and you will be able to see every one of the programs. Yes, that's right. The person who's asking about those Canadian college student scholarships, there are 20 of those, and they are $3,000. We give you $1,500, $1,500 in the first semester. Then we need you to maintain a 5 GPA, or that 75 to 80 average, and then if you've done that, we will give you the $1,500 for the second semester. The year. So, of course, as you know, we're upside down to Canada. And so what we call our first semester commences at the end of February and goes till the middle of June. And then our second semester starts in July, end of July, and goes to the middle of November. You can start the BA either in February or in July. You can start the graduate diploma and the Master of Teaching primary programs in both February and July. For secondary, you can the graduate diploma and the Master of Teaching secondary, you can only start that in the February, because we need to start you with lower primary before building up to the secondary. That's right. Yes, for the person asking about that final placement and your research project, you can certainly do that back home. But remember also, for graduate diploma students, you can do your final placement back home in Canada as well. Oops, let's see, where are we up to here? I'm just scrolling through. Sorry, I've just lost where we're up to here. Okay. Going back to the admission rate, everything a student needs to prepare the portfolio when applying for the Teachers College program on campus. The very best thing for you to do is to talk to KOM. They will assist you with that. You will need your okay, somebody's already beat me to it. Thank you very much. Your application form, you will need your transcripts from your previous qualifications and some reference letters. But once again, if you talk to KOM, they'll be able to help you with that, so that the whole process is made very easy for you. Part-time jobs, yes, and that's something else we didn't talk about. As a student, you are able to work 20 hours a week in Australia. That's a government regulation. So yes, you can certainly find plenty of jobs. The Brisbane to Gold Coast corridor is very much a tourist area, and there are lots of opportunities in the hospitality and the tourist industry for you. And remember, 20 hours when school is in, when you are studying. When we come to the break times, the vacation periods, you are able to work as much as you like. That can be 40 hours a week if you would like. Minimum wage in Australia is about $18 an hour Australian, and I know that's a little bit higher than here, but you must remember that we don't have a tipping system in Australia, and so the advantage is that you know exactly how much you'll be earning with the number of hours you work, but you won't be able to rely on some extra tips. Yes, you can certainly do homeschooling. Homeschooling is available as well. I don't have the particulars about that, but yes, there are public school system and there is homeschooling system available. What are the vacation periods? Yes, we did mention those before with the semesters. I'll go over them. So you start the BA and the grad dip at the end of February, and you will go to the middle of June, and the next semester starts at the end of July and into the middle of November. Watch out, the Master of Teaching program does start at the end of January, because we have to do the extra work. So apart from that, you are totally on vacation. If you would like to download an academic calendar from Griffith University, if you go to the Griffith University website and type in 2012 academic calendar, that will be available on your screen for you, and you can see the weeks of we're in school, and then of course the other weeks are available for vacation. Yes, KOM are happy to help you with the information about taking children of school age to Australia. Yes, I will be at that Oakville presentation. Thank you for reminding me about that. If anybody wanted to meet me, or tonight, this afternoon, you think of further questions, there is an information session at 1 p.m. at that Holiday Inn, the Oakville Holiday Inn, Oakville at Bronte, and I will be there tomorrow, as well as our regional manager for Canada. And also the KOM representatives will be there. So if you would like to have further discussions about your application, you're most welcome to come and join us at Oakville tomorrow. There's no need to register for that. Please just turn up. Well, I'm afraid we don't have much ice in Australia. So there is one ice rink in Brisbane, and as far as I know, there is one ice rink around the Gold Coast. So we do not have much call for ice hockey teams. There are, in saying that, many of the Canadian students do play in the Brisbane ice hockey team, and they are often required for coaching and those sorts of things. But it's certainly not one of our popular sports, simply because we're too warm a country. A girls' footy team, yes, I've just discovered that girls play football. They've been able to play touch football for many, many years, which purely is just running, obviously, from one end of the field to the other, and a touch is all you need. But unfortunately, fortunately, for those who really are interested in girls' football teams, rugby league is now played by women as well as the men. Yes, there are obviously swimming is certainly something that we are much better at than ice hockey, and there are pools all over the place in Brisbane, Gold Coast, and of course you can swim in the ocean if you're down at the Gold Coast as well. Soccer, we do have soccer, and that is available. Oh, do you mean soccer for girls? Yes, we certainly have soccer for girls as well as for the guys. That is available as well. Yes, so our sports are more football, soccer, swimming, squash and tennis. If you wanted a glimpse of Melbourne, the Australian Open is being played at the moment, and that's on your TSN. I've been watching it while I've been over here. No, the essay is about a 10,000 word research project, and by defended, I'm sure you mean an oral defence of that. No, it's not. It's just a written paper of 10,000 words. Yes, Griffith University does have some sports teams itself, but within the community, there are many, many other sports teams of that are played. Okay, KOM can help me out here. A comparison on getting a degree domestically versus getting a degree at Griffith University. Certainly for those students who are in community colleges, the credit that we're offering you is very, very good. And so it would only take you 1 year to get the bachelor's and then 1 year to get the graduate diploma. And so therefore you're certainly fast tracking it. I believe that would be 3 to 4 or maybe even 5 years for you to do the same thing back here in Canada. As far as just the teaching degree, I think the time frame for those is very, very similar, although I believe it's quite difficult to get into Teachers College back here in Canada. Rent is paid weekly in Australia. Okay. Yes, it's like the residences on campus. You can get all sorts of different levels of accommodation and levels of food packages, etc. So if you want fully catered, your own bedroom, your own facilities, you will pay more than someone who will share a kitchen and a facility. Okay, so for those people who want to come back to Australia after the 1 year, yes, we have had students come back and get into Teachers College back here. They had very, very, very high GPAs to do that. You would be doing 8 courses in Australia in the BA. You have to do your research very well, because I believe some universities would require a minimum of 10 courses to get into the Teachers College year. So I don't have the exact information for all of the universities here in Canada, But my advice would be to do your research well, to find out what's required then to go on to honours or to Teachers College back here in Canada. We don't actually do the registration for you. You actually have to fill that out by yourself. However, we do send a package to the OCT for you, and in that there will be an original copy of your transcripts, an original copy of your degree, and an original copy of a letter verifying the number of days that you have done practicum in schools. So we send that in a sealed package to the Ontario College of Teachers for you, but you actually have to do your own application to them. So we help by sending that information on for you. Okay, so are there any other questions out there? Is there anything else that I can help you with? Don't forget, I'm available tomorrow at Oakville at Bronte if anybody would be interested in coming down to that. Don't forget, you at any time you can come into the KOM office or contact them, and they will be able to help you. When are deadlines to apply? So we recommend, if you do not want a stressful time, about 6 months in advance is a good time. However, if you wanted to get into the February intake in 2012, I'm here in Canada at the moment, happy to assess your applications and happy to help you with getting that accepted immediately if that's what you would like. Okay. I'm just going up. Scrolling up to where we're up to here. Good parties in Australia? Well, I guess you're asking the wrong person. I'm an academic, so I want you to do the very, very best that you can while you're in Australia. So I'd really like to know that you're studying very hard and that your GPA is going to be well above 80. But I believe the Canadian students have a really good time, so I'm sure there will be some parties out there for you to go to. Oh, I keep losing my place here. Thank you to that person who signed off. Best wishes to you. Please come and join us. Yes, I can tell you to date, Griffith University has trained 2,500 Canadians, and they are teaching in Australia, in Canada, and in fact all around the world. So our figures are 2,500 Canadians have come through our door. Whoops, here now, what's this question? Yes, as we have agreements with the Ontario College of Teachers, if you have done the Griffith programs, you are certainly able to get registration. Australia, just a little bit like Canada, is now getting an oversupply of primary teachers. I believe Canada is a little bit worse than Australia, and certainly people are getting jobs in Australia. And of course, there are relief positions available as well. I don't graduate from until May of this year, so I'd be looking at February 2013. So certainly, if you wish to come in 2013, once you've graduated in May and you have all of your documentation, about July, you might like to contact KOM and come along to them and sit down with them, and they'd be happy to help you with your application. Averages. You need to, once you pass everything, you must pass every course and you will graduate. So a pass is 50%. So a pass means you will graduate. Is the area around? Yes, Australia is very much like Canada. We are very, very multicultural. As I mentioned to you, Griffith has approximately 44,000 students in 2012, and a quarter of those, 11,000, are international students. So we have a very multicultural campus, whichever campus you're on. As well, of course, our domestic students are very multicultural. So you will meet people from all walks of life and from many, many cultures. Okay, we have okay, how many people successfully finished the program? The last time I checked, I think it was very much high in the 95% of students actually successfully complete the program. It's a very, very high percentage. And we at Griffith will work as closely with you as possible to ensure that you do graduate. Okay, are there any final questions then before I say goodbye? KOM, is there anything else that you think I should mention before we say goodbye?
I think you covered all. I think it's wonderful.
Okay, well, with that, we'll say goodbye. Thank you very much for tuning in today. Thank you very much to KOM for hosting our webinar. Don't forget to contact them and they will help you with your application. And don't forget tomorrow, if any of you are available and you would like to come down to Oakville, I'd be happy to meet with you, and you can also meet KOM. Otherwise, I look forward to maybe seeing you at Griffith University in Australia. Thank you very much, everyone. Bye-bye.